Imagine the United States as a massive economic machine. You might assume all 50 states are contributing evenly. But that's far from reality. In truth, a relatively small group of powerhouse states produces a disproportionate share of the nation's wealth. Almost like a tight circle of MVPs carrying the entire team. As we move into 2026, the big question becomes, which states are truly fueling America's economic engine? Is it the financial dominance of Wall Street, the tech empire of Silicon Valley valued in the trillions, or Texas pumping out well over 1 billion barrels of oil each year? Here's the surprising part. Just a handful of states generate more than half of the country's staggering $29 trillion GDP. Some of them individually produce more economic output than entire nations. So who's leading the charge right now? Let's break it down step by step. We're counting down the 10 most economically powerful states in America, not ranked by lifestyle, natural beauty, or popularity, but by pure financial output and industrial strength. At number 10, we have New Jersey. Often reduced to stereotypes about boardwalks, diners, and rock legends, New Jersey rarely gets credit for its financial firepower. But behind that modest image lies an economic heavyweight, with a GDP hovering around $853 billion. The Garden State secures its place among the top 10 richest states in the country. What makes this even more remarkable is its size. With a population of roughly 9.3 million people, New Jersey manages to generate enormous output without the population scale of states like California or Texas. It's like the smallest contender in a boxing ring walking away with the championship title. So what's driving this outsized performance? Location plays a huge role. Positioned between New York City and Philadelphia, New Jersey benefits from immediate access to two of the most influential economic centers on the East Coast. But it's not simply riding on their coattails. The state has built serious economic strength of its own. More than 20 Fortune 500 companies call New Jersey home. Pharmaceutical giants such as Johnson & Johnson and Merck operate there. Alongside major financial institutions like Prudential Financial, the state has developed into one of America's leading biotech corridors, making it a critical player in healthcare innovation and pharmaceutical research. Trade is another major pillar. The Port of New York and New Jersey stands as the second busiest port in the United States, handling over 8 million shipping containers annually. That translates into billions upon billions of dollars in goods moving through its docks each year. Add Newark Liberty International Airport, one of the country's key air freight gateways, and you have a state deeply embedded in global commerce networks. Residents are also benefiting from this economic strength. The median household income in New Jersey sits around $97, comfortably above the national average of approximately $75. While the state is known for having some of the highest property taxes in the nation, those taxes help fund top-tier public schools and strong healthcare systems, consistently ranking among the best in the country. For many families, that trade-off is worth it. New Jersey may not always dominate headlines, but when it comes to economic output and strategic importance, it holds its own against much larger states. Quietly but confidently, it stands among America's financial heavy hitters. Next up at number 9, Washington. Coming in at number 9, we travel up to the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, a place famous for towering evergreens, coffee culture, and an economy that punches far above its weight. While many picture gray skies and scenic coastlines, Washington is also one of America's most financially dynamic states, with a GDP hovering around $860 billion. It firmly secures its position among the nation's top economic performers. What truly distinguishes Washington, though, is its efficiency on a per-person basis. The state's GDP per capita ranks among the highest in the country, reflecting an incredibly productive workforce and a concentration of high-value industries. In other words, it's not just producing a lot, it's producing a lot relative to its size. So where does that strength come from? Technology sits at the center of Washington's economic universe. Global giants like Microsoft and Amazon were built here, and they continue to expand their footprints across the state. Add Boeing to the mix, and you have a trio of corporate titans generating hundreds of billions of dollars annually while employing tens of thousands of workers. Seattle, often referred to as a global hub for cloud computing and digital innovation, has become a magnet for startups, engineers, and venture capital. The drizzle may be constant, but so is the economic momentum. Boeing's presence has also cemented Washington's status as a global aerospace leader. Aircraft manufacturing and related technologies contribute significantly to exports, making the state a crucial player in international trade. Each year, Washington exports more than $50 billion worth of goods, ranking it among the top exporting states in America. Its trade relationships with Canada, China, and Japan help anchor it firmly within the global marketplace. Yet Washington's success story extends well beyond software and airplanes. Agriculture plays a powerful supporting role. The state is the nation's leading producer of apples, harvesting billions annually. It's also a major source of wine grapes, wheat, cherries, and hops, essential ingredients for a thriving craft beer industry. This blend of high-tech innovation and agricultural productivity creates a balanced and resilient economic structure. Another factor that draws businesses and high-income professionals is Washington's tax system. The state does not impose a personal income tax, which can be highly attractive for entrepreneurs and corporate leaders. To compensate, it relies more heavily on sales taxes, among the highest in the country. This approach allows the government to generate revenue while maintaining its appeal to top earners and growing companies. Taken together, Washington has built a diversified and forward-looking economy powered by technology, trade, manufacturing, and natural resources. Rain or shine, the state continues to generate wealth at an impressive pace. Now let's move down to number 8, Georgia. Ranked 8th, Georgia represents the economic backbone of the Southeast. While it's often associated with peaches, hospitality, and Southern tradition, the state has quietly developed into a financial force, with a GDP approaching $889 billion. Georgia's economy is not only substantial but also expanding rapidly across multiple sectors. At the heart of this growth is Atlanta, a booming metropolitan powerhouse with a population exceeding 6 million people. Atlanta isn't just a regional capital, it's a major corporate command center. More than 16 Fortune 500 companies are headquartered here, including globally recognized brands like Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, Home Depot, and UPS. This concentration of corporate leadership fuels job creation, investment, and long-term expansion throughout the state. Transportation infrastructure is one of Georgia's strongest advantages. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport consistently ranks as the busiest airport in the world, serving over 100 million passengers each year. Its vast network of domestic and international flights connects Georgia directly to global markets, reinforcing Atlanta's reputation as a logistics and travel hub. And that connectivity doesn't stop at air travel. Georgia's extensive highway systems, rail networks, and access to major ports make it a distribution powerhouse. Businesses can move goods efficiently across the country and overseas, which strengthens the state's role in commerce and supply chains. Georgia's economy is broad-based and resilient, spanning manufacturing, film production, technology, finance, and agriculture. It's a state that combines Southern charm with serious economic ambition, and the numbers prove it. Atlanta's unmatched connectivity has transformed the city into a magnet for multinational corporations and foreign capital. With direct routes to major cities across Europe, Asia, and Latin America, businesses see Georgia not just as a southern state, but as a global gateway. That constant flow of people and commerce has fueled rapid expansion in logistics, trade, and corporate development throughout the region. Beyond transportation and corporate headquarters, Georgia has carved out a powerful position in the entertainment world. Generous production tax credits have reshaped the state into one of the busiest filming destinations in America, often earning it the title, Hollywood of the South. In 2024 alone, more than 400 movie and television projects were produced across Georgia. Those productions pumped billions into local communities, supporting crews, studios, small businesses, and thousands of creative professionals. Entire towns have benefited from the steady presence of cameras and production teams. Still, Georgia's economic backbone isn't limited to film studios and boardrooms. Agriculture remains deeply embedded in the state's identity and financial output. While peaches may be the most famous crop, Georgia is a national leader in poultry production and a top grower of peanuts and pecans. Farming and agribusiness together contribute well over $70 billion annually, making it one of the most significant sectors in the state's economy. With a population of roughly 11 million residents, Georgia has built a labor force capable of sustaining growth across multiple industries at once. Household earnings average around $71 per year, and compared to many coastal states, real estate prices remain relatively reasonable. That balance of opportunity and affordability makes Georgia appealing not only to large corporations but also to startups, young professionals, and families seeking room to grow. Now let's head north to number 7, Ohio. Bringing in approximately $933 billion in economic output, Ohio stands as one of the Midwest's most dependable economic engines. It may not always dominate national headlines, but the state's diverse industrial base and steady productivity make it one of the country's most balanced economies. With nearly 11.8 million residents, Ohio blends blue-collar manufacturing heritage with modern innovation in healthcare, finance, and education. Manufacturing remains a defining strength. Ohio ranks among America's leading industrial producers, supporting over 680,000 manufacturing jobs statewide. The state plays a crucial role in building automotive components, aircraft parts, steel products, and advanced plastics. Cities like Toledo and Dayton continue to uphold long-standing manufacturing traditions, serving as pillars of industrial production. Nationally, Ohio places near the top in automotive-related manufacturing, converting raw materials and precision engineering into billions of dollars in economic value. However, Ohio's economy extends far beyond factory floors. Healthcare represents one of its fastest-growing and most influential sectors. Renowned institutions such as the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio Health anchor a vast medical network that generates tens of billions annually. The healthcare and biotech industries together employ close to 900,000 people, making medicine one of the state's largest sources of jobs and innovation. Higher education also plays a transformative role. Columbus, the capital city, houses the Ohio State University, one of the largest public universities in the United States. Its research initiatives, medical programs, and business partnerships significantly contribute to workforce development and technological advancement. Meanwhile, cities like Cleveland and Cincinnati are strengthening their footholds in financial services. With expanding activity in fintech, banking, and global investment operations. From a cost of living perspective, Ohio offers a strong advantage. Median household income hovers around $66, while housing prices remain notably affordable compared to national averages. With typical home values under $225, the state has become increasingly attractive to remote workers, young families, and entrepreneurs seeking lower overhead costs without sacrificing career potential. Next on the list at number 6 is Pennsylvania, a state that has officially surpassed the $1 trillion GDP mark, securing its place among America's economic giants. That's right, Pennsylvania isn't just geographically central to the country, it has become one of the most economically significant states in America. Having surpassed the $1 trillion GDP threshold, the Keystone State has firmly established itself as a national financial force. With a population of approximately 12.9 million people, Pennsylvania has successfully combined its industrial legacy with cutting-edge innovation, building an economy that is both broad in scope and highly productive. Much of this momentum comes from its two largest metropolitan anchors, Philadelphia in the east and Pittsburgh in the west. These cities function like dual power generators, each contributing in distinct but equally important ways. Philadelphia serves as a hub for finance, life sciences, and healthcare. The presence of globally respected institutions such as the University of Pennsylvania, Comcast, and Jefferson Health fuels research breakthroughs, attracts investment capital, and sustains tens of thousands of high-paying jobs. The city's strong academic and medical ecosystem continues to push advancements in biotechnology and pharmaceuticals. On the other side of the state, Pittsburgh tells a remarkable story of reinvention. Once synonymous with steel production, the city has transformed itself into a center for robotics, artificial intelligence, healthcare systems, and advanced manufacturing. Organizations like UPMC and Carnegie Mellon University have been instrumental in that transition, helping Pittsburgh evolve from an industrial powerhouse into a technology-driven economy. This shift has made the region more resilient and future-focused. Energy production is another major pillar of Pennsylvania's economic strength. The development of the Marcellus Shale Formation has positioned the state as one of the leading natural gas producers in the United States. Billions of cubic feet of gas are extracted daily, generating significant revenue and supporting thousands of jobs across extraction, infrastructure, and related services. The energy sector alone contributes billions to the state's annual output, reinforcing its financial stability. Agriculture also remains a steady and often underestimated contributor. Pennsylvania farms generate more than $7 billion annually, producing dairy products, poultry, apples, and a wide range of crops. In fact, the state ranks first nationwide in mushroom production, harvesting over 500 million pounds each year. It's a specialized niche that quietly delivers major economic returns. From a household perspective, Pennsylvania offers a balanced financial landscape. Median household income hovers around $72, while certain urban areas, particularly parts of Philadelphia, can carry higher living costs. Much of the state remains affordable. Typical home prices average below $260, providing attainable housing options for families, young professionals, and retirees. Whether through natural gas development, world-class medical research, agricultural production, or technological innovation, Pennsylvania demonstrates that sustainable wealth often comes from diversification rather than hype. By blending tradition with forward-thinking industries, the state has built a durable economic foundation. Now let's move to number 5, Illinois. With an economy valued at roughly $1.1 trillion, Illinois ranks among the nation's most influential states. Home to about 12.6 million residents, it continues to play a vital role in America's broader economic framework. And when discussing Illinois, one city stands above the rest: Chicago. Chicago isn't simply the largest city in the state, it serves as the primary economic engine. In fact, more than 80% of Illinois' total GDP is generated within the Chicago metropolitan area. The city acts as a strategic crossroads where finance, transportation, agriculture, and manufacturing converge. Its global influence is especially evident in financial markets. Institutions such as CME Group and the Chicago Board of Trade facilitate trillions of dollars in commodity transactions each year, placing Chicago at the epicenter of global futures and derivatives trading. Still, Illinois is far more than a financial hub. Manufacturing remains deeply rooted in the state's economic identity. Illinois produces a wide array of goods, including heavy machinery, chemicals, fabricated metals, and processed food products. This industrial output supports thousands of jobs and reinforces the state's role as a central production corridor within the Midwest. Farming is a central pillar of Illinois' economy, not just a supporting player. The state consistently ranks first in the nation for soybean production, supplying both domestic processors and international buyers. Corn is another dominant crop, and together these commodities generate billions of dollars annually. Illinois' rich soil and extensive farmland have cemented its reputation as one of America's agricultural giants, reinforcing its long-standing identity as a breadbasket of the Midwest. Logistics and transportation further strengthen the state's economic position. O'Hare International Airport is one of the busiest airports in the world, accommodating more than 80 million travelers each year while also serving as a major air cargo hub. On the ground, Illinois operates one of the most extensive rail systems in the country. Freight trains moving between the east and west coasts frequently intersect in Chicago, making the state a vital distribution crossroads. In many cases, goods shipped across the United States pass through Illinois at some stage of their journey. Healthcare and higher education provide additional layers of economic depth. Prestigious institutions such as the University of Chicago and Northwestern University are internationally recognized for research excellence, While Rush University Medical Center stands out in clinical innovation, these universities and hospitals not only drive medical breakthroughs but also sustain tens of thousands of high-skilled jobs, contributing significantly to regional development. Corporate presence is another defining feature. Illinois hosts 37 Fortune 500 companies, including globally recognized firms like Boeing, Caterpillar, Allstate, and Walgreens Boots Alliance. That level of corporate concentration translates into strong executive leadership, capital investment, and employment opportunities. For individuals and families, Illinois presents a relatively balanced financial landscape. Median household income averages around $75, although Chicago's cost of living can climb higher than other parts of the state. Many suburban and rural areas remain affordable. Statewide, typical home values hover just under $260, offering reasonable entry points for homebuyers compared to many coastal markets. Now let's turn to number 4, Florida. Florida is often associated with sunshine, beaches, and vacation getaways, but beneath that relaxed image lies one of the fastest-growing economies in the country. With a GDP reaching approximately $1.7 trillion, the state has transformed itself into a dynamic economic force. What was once seen primarily as a tourism-driven region has evolved into a diversified powerhouse. The population has climbed past 22 million residents, making Florida the third most populous state in the nation. That rapid population growth fuels consumer spending, housing development, and business expansion. Unlike regions that grow incrementally, Florida's economy has expanded at a striking pace in recent years. Tourism remains a cornerstone industry. Each year, more than 137 million visitors travel to Florida, filling hotels, restaurants, and attractions from Orlando to Miami to the Florida Keys. Walt Disney World alone draws tens of millions of guests annually, generating enormous revenue and supporting a vast network of hospitality jobs. The tourism sector injects billions into the state economy every single year. However, Florida's ambitions extend far beyond theme parks and beachfront resorts. The state has emerged as a key player in aerospace and space exploration. The Kennedy Space Center at Cape Canaveral anchors a rapidly expanding space industry presence. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin regularly launch rockets from Florida's coastline, contributing substantial investment and reinforcing the state's growing influence in advanced manufacturing and aerospace technology. International trade also plays a powerful role. Major ports such as Port Miami and Port Everglades process billions of dollars in cargo annually. Florida's geographic position gives it strong commercial ties to Latin America and the Caribbean, positioning the state as a gateway between the United States and global markets. Agriculture continues to make a meaningful contribution as well. Florida's farms generate close to $9 billion each year, with oranges, sugarcane, tomatoes, and other crops leading production. This agricultural output ensures that the state's economy is supported not only by coastal industries but also by inland farming communities. One of Florida's most attractive features for residents and businesses alike is its tax structure. The state does not impose a personal income tax, a policy that has drawn entrepreneurs, retirees, and corporate relocations from higher tax states, combined with strong population growth and industry diversification. That advantage has helped propel Florida into the upper ranks of America's economic leaders. That no state income tax policy has become one of Florida's most powerful recruiting tools. Retirees looking to stretch their savings, remote professionals escaping high-cost urban centers, and affluent households relocating from states like California and New York have poured in over the past few years. While the median household income hovers around $67, many residents believe the trade-off is worth it. Year-round sunshine, coastal living, and the ability to keep more of their paycheck often outweigh purely salary-based comparisons. Now let's move to number 3, New York. Earning the bronze position on this list, yet arguably standing at the very top in terms of financial influence, New York commands an astonishing $2.3 trillion GDP. If it operated as its own country, New York's economy would rank among the 10 largest in the world. That staggering output highlights just how much capital flows through the Empire State every single day. At the core of this economic machine sits New York City. Widely regarded as the financial capital of the globe, Wall Street anchors a network of institutions that shape markets worldwide. The New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq, the two largest stock exchanges by market value, process trillions of dollars in transactions daily. Finance and insurance alone account for more than a quarter of the state's economic activity, an unusually high concentration that underscores New York's dominance in global capital markets. Yet the state's economic reach extends far beyond trading floors and investment banks. Media, healthcare, technology, and real estate all contribute heavily to overall output. Major entertainment and news corporations operate from Manhattan, while respected research institutions such as Cornell University and Mount Sinai drive medical breakthroughs and scientific innovation. Healthcare is especially significant, employing well over 1 million people statewide. Meanwhile, biotech startups and research labs across the greater New York metropolitan area continue to expand rapidly. Upstate New York adds further balance to the equation. Cities like Buffalo, Syracuse, and Albany contribute billions through advanced manufacturing, public sector employment, renewable energy projects, and higher education. The Hudson Valley has also evolved into a growing tech and innovation corridor, attracting startups and investment outside of New York City's traditional boundaries. On a per capita basis, New York stands near the top nationally, with economic output per resident exceeding $117. Median household income averages around $80, though that figure varies dramatically between regions. Living in Manhattan can mean extremely high housing costs, with average monthly rents frequently surpassing $4,500. Despite those expenses, many residents argue that access to global opportunity, career mobility, and unmatched cultural energy makes the cost worthwhile. Now let's talk about number 2, Texas. With an enormous $2.7 trillion GDP, Texas claims the silver position. The phrase, "everything's bigger in Texas," isn't just cultural flair, it accurately reflects the scale of its economy. Texas manages to combine massive energy production, a rapidly expanding technology sector, powerful agricultural output, and a pro-business regulatory environment all within one state. Home to more than 30.5 million people, Texas ranks as the second most populous state in the country, and its population continues to surge. Between 2023 and 2025 alone, it added hundreds of thousands of new residents. A major driver behind that influx is, once again, the absence of a state income tax. Businesses and high-earning individuals often see Texas as a place where growth potential meets financial efficiency. Energy production remains the backbone of Texas's dominance, setting the stage for one of the most influential state economies in America. Texas dominates America's energy map. It produces more crude oil than any other state, extracting well over 1.7 billion barrels annually. Beyond oil, it ranks at the top in natural gas output and has invested heavily in renewable sources, particularly wind power, where it consistently leads the nation. This balanced energy portfolio shows that Texas isn't relying solely on its past, it's actively shaping the future of power generation. But the Lone Star State has evolved far beyond drilling platforms and open ranches. Austin has transformed into one of the fastest-growing tech ecosystems in the country. Major corporations such as Tesla, Oracle, and Apple have expanded operations there, drawn by business-friendly policies and a strong pipeline of skilled workers. The city's nickname, Silicon Hills, reflects its booming innovation economy. Today, thousands of technology firms operate in and around Austin, creating a vibrant startup culture alongside established giants. Houston plays a different but equally critical role. It stands as a global center for energy operations and aerospace development. NASA's Johnson Space Center anchors the region's space exploration activity, while multinational energy corporations like ExxonMobil maintain significant operations there. Meanwhile, the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area has grown into a commercial and financial powerhouse. With a dense concentration of corporate headquarters, distribution networks, and logistics hubs, it functions as a key engine for commerce across the central United States. Agriculture remains another pillar of Texas's economic strength. The state leads the country in cattle production and consistently ranks near the top in cotton output. Together, ranching and farming generate more than $25 billion annually, reinforcing Texas's identity as both an industrial and agricultural giant. For residents, economic conditions are relatively strong. Median household income averages around $75. Although real estate prices have risen as population growth accelerates, the typical home still costs under $330 statewide, a figure that remains competitive compared to many coastal markets. Now we arrive at number 1, California. Claiming the top position by a significant margin, California boasts a staggering $4.1 trillion GDP. This isn't simply the largest state economy in America, it's one of the largest in the world. If California operated independently, it would rank among the top 5 global economies, surpassing entire nations such as the United Kingdom and India. The scale is extraordinary. What drives an economy of that magnitude? The answer lies in its extraordinary diversification and concentration of high-value industries. Silicon Valley stands at the forefront, generating hundreds of billions annually. The region houses technology giants like Apple, Google, Meta, and Netflix. On top of that, California attracts more than half of the world's venture capital funding, ensuring a constant pipeline of startups, disruptive technologies, and groundbreaking research. Innovation is not occasional here, it's continuous and heavily financed. Entertainment forms another cornerstone. Los Angeles remains the global epicenter of film, television, and streaming production. Hollywood's studios and production companies distribute content worldwide, producing billions in revenue and shaping global pop culture in the process. Agriculture is equally formidable. California's farms generate more than $50 billion each year. The state leads the nation in the production of almonds, grapes, strawberries, and dairy products. Remarkably, it supplies roughly 1/3 of America's vegetables and nearly 2/3 of its fruits and nuts. That agricultural dominance makes California essential to the country's food system. Aerospace and defense industries add further depth. Southern California hosts major research facilities and manufacturing centers operated by companies such as Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. These firms contribute to cutting-edge engineering, advanced aircraft systems, and national security initiatives. With nearly 39 million residents, California is the most populous state in the nation, supported by one of the most educated workforces in the country. Median household income averages around $91. However, that prosperity comes with a cost. In cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, median home prices frequently approach or exceed $800, reflecting one of the highest costs of living in the United States. Despite those expenses, California continues to attract ambitious individuals from across the country and around the world. From tech campuses in Palo Alto to film studios in Burbank, from the agricultural heartland of the Central Valley to the massive shipping ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Economic activity pulses across every corner of the state. When it comes to driving national wealth, California doesn't just participate, it sets the benchmark for everyone else.